So to start off this mobility routine, we're going to have shoulder and arm dislocators. Now for this, all you need is either a resistance band or a broomstick, and you want to place your hands as close as you can possible while still being able to get your arms all the way up and behind your head down to your bum. This is going to help open up your chest and shoulders to prevent any tightness and stiffness in the front. Next, we're moving on to band pull aparts. Now these are also a good exercise for shoulder health. What you want to do is retract from the shoulder blades, squeeze in right between them. If you imagine you have a pencil between those shoulder blades, and then we're going to get a good squeeze. This is going to help strengthen up the muscles in behind the shoulders. Next, we'll be working on your hip mobility. Now, if you have poor hip mobility, this can lead to lower back pain and can prevent you from getting in the correct position during certain exercises. What we need to do for this is try and get our knee towards the end of our toes in the bottom position on both sides. What we also need to try and do is keep our knees and both bum cheeks on the floor at the bottom of position. What you want to do is push down as hard as you can until you feel a stretch on the outside of your hip. When returning to the center, what you want to do is pull your bum cheek backwards to be in line with the opposite bum cheek. If you push it straight down on the floor, you will slowly work your way forward and get out of the correct position. When you are in the bottom point of this position, you want to make sure you're leaning as far forward as you can and not leaning backwards. Okay, the next exercise we're getting into is a great exercise for opening up your hip flexors. Now, if you have a desk job or you sit down a lot, your hip flexors can become very tight. What this exercise is doing is help stretch out and lengthen those hip flexors, and it can help get your pelvis in a better line and help you stand up tall. So for this exercise, you're going to put your foot up as high as you can on the outside of your hands and then drive your hips into the floor. What you should feel is in the leg that remains straight and behind you, you should feel a stretch through the front of your hip in that position. So as you can see now, when I drive up, I'm getting my foot on the outside of my hands. And what I'm trying to do is get the foot as close as I can to my hands as possible. As I get to the top position, I'm pushing my hips further into the stretch before transferring onto the opposite side. Okay, the next exercise is great for thoracic mobility. So what I want you to do is get onto your hands and knees, and you're going to push your bum slightly back towards your heels, as you're about to see now. So I'm pushing my bum back towards my heels slightly, hands on my temple, and I'm twisting as far as I possibly can. As I twist, I'm looking where my elbow is pointing, just to help increase the rotation through the spine. Again, this helps with posture and strengthening the muscles in between your shoulder blades. Next exercise, we're working on the calves and Achilles. So what I want you to do is push your heels down to the floor as close as you can, and you should feel a stretch through the calf and Achilles. This is going to help with mobility, particularly in your squatting exercises. If you have tight calves or Achilles, this can limit how deep you can go. So you're just going to hold the stretch for a split second before switching to each side. And then the last stretch, what we're doing is we're working in a squat position and a pike position. So what we need to do is drive our knees out as far as we possibly can with our elbows. This will ensure a stretch on the inside of your thighs through the adductors. Next, we're pushing our bum up into the air, and what you should feel is a stretch through the hamstrings. So this is going to help prevent any tight areas in your deep squat position and for any hamstring tightness. So we're slowly transitioning between the two, and you want to ensure that you're keeping the weight in your heels continuously. The last exercise we're going to perform is great for activating the glutes. Now the glutes can become weak and actually shut off, so what we're doing is we're getting them firing and ready for the session. When our glutes are activated and turned on, this is going to help improve your posture, and it's going to help give you more power throughout the lifts. What you want to make sure is that you push your hips back but your shins stay vertical, and then we're tapping side to side, ensuring the resistance stays on the band.